solids, liquids and gases. Today I am going to start your chapter number 7 from the science book, Solids, Liquids and Gases. So hello students, how are you all? I hope everyone is fine and doing well. This is your Arindam sir and I welcome you all to your YouTube channel Revision Learning. So students, as I said you that today I am going to start your chapter number 7, solid, liquids and gases. But before knowing about the solid, liquids and gases, we will know how the existence of the solid, liquid and gases came. So everything we see in our surroundings are basically living things and non-living things, and all these living and non-living things are made up of matter. Everything we see in our surroundings are made up of matter. Even we human beings are also made up of matter. What is a matter? Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Means anything which can occupy a particular space and have a definite mass is called a matter. For example, table, chair, milk, water, even air, pen, book, pencil, anything. Living or non-living things are matter, are made up of matter. Now these matter are again made up of very small particles which are called molecules. So the matter are made up of very small particles and we call it as molecules. And these molecules we cannot see through our naked eyes. To see a molecule we need a microscope. On the basis of the arrangement of these molecules, matter exists in 3 different states. These are the solid, liquid and gas. So we got that there are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Now we will learn about the arrangement of molecules in solid. The molecules in solid are very tightly and closely packed. Why? Because the force of attraction or the intermolecular force between the molecules of a solid are very strong. They can attract one another and that is why they remain closely packed. Due to this tightness in the molecules, solids are very hard, rigid, having a fixed shape and volume. And more importantly, they cannot flow because of their tight nature. For a liquid, the molecules are not very closely packed like that of the solids because they have a little weak force of attraction between the molecules. That is why molecules of liquid can easily move from one place to another. Liquid also don't have any particular shape, but they have a fixed volume. For example, if we put a juice or water in a glass, then that water or that juice will take the shape of the container, that is, they will take the shape of the glass in which they are poured in. So liquids don't have any particular or any fixed shape but they have a fixed volume because they take the shape of the container in which they are poured into. Now let us learn about the arrangements of molecules in gases. In a gas, the intermolecular force is extremely weak, or we can say negligible, and that is why the molecules of gases are free to move. They always remains far from one another. In between the spaces of the molecules in gases, there are very empty. We can find very empty spaces in between the. Spaces of the molecules in the gases, and that is why gases can occupy any space available to them. Now we will learn about some properties of the solids, liquids and gases. Now we will start with the property mass. Solids have a definite mass. Liquids and gases also have a definite mass. Now come to shape. Solids have definitely a particular and fixed shape. Liquids acquires the shape of the container in which they are poured in, and gases also acquires the shape of the container. Now volume. Solids have a definite volume. Liquids also have a definite volume, but gases don't have any definite volume. It's indefinite. Compressibility. Now a solid cannot be compressed. If you want to compress your book or your chair, your table, you cannot compress it. But liquids can easily compress. Means they are almost negligible. You cannot imagine to compress water or any other liquid. So we can say that the compressibility of a liquid is almost negligible. But gases compressibility are very high. We can compress the gases in any different shape. Now come to fluidity. Fluidity of solids are not possible. Why? Because of their very tight nature. Their molecules are tightly packed. Liquids can easily flow because of their weak intermolecular force of attraction, and similarly gases can also flow. Rigidity. Solids are very highly rigid, liquids less rigid, and gases not rigid. Diffusion. Solids diffusion gets slow. We cannot diffuse solids very quickly. Liquids can be diffused fast, while gases can be diffused very fast. Spaces between the particles. Solids, as I said earlier, they are most closely packed, liquids less closely packed, and the gases almost negligible. Interparticle force. Solids have the most strongest interparticle force, liquids slightly weaker, and gases again negligible. So these are the properties of the solid, liquids and gases. Now let's take one example of ice cream. An ice cream always remains in a solid state, but it goes to the liquid state on heating. That liquid on further heating goes to the gaseous state as it becomes gas. So this entire phenomena is called change of state. Now we'll learn about the change of state. Now students, as I said you that on heating, that is if we heat a water, it directly changes into vapor. Why? Because on heating, the molecules present in the water start moving faster and quicker, and this is why they becomes free and they escapes into the air in the form of water vapor. Okay, and this process or this phenomenon is called evaporation. Evaporation is the change of liquid into gaseous state on heating. Okay, evaporation is a type of vaporization that occurs on the surface of a liquid as it changes into the gaseous phase. Evaporation is an essential part of the water cycle. The sun or the solar energy drives evaporation of water from oceans, lakes and other sources of water. Now students, the water vapor or the steam on cooling, it again comes back to its water form. Why this happens? Because on cooling a steam, the movement of water molecules becomes very slow, and this is why they move very less, means they are less free to move and they remains close to one another, and this forms water again. So this process is called condensation. The change of gas or the vapor into liquid state on cooling is called condensation. Condensation is a type of change of the physical state of matter from gaseous phase into the liquid phase. Now let's come to the melting. So here in melting, what happens in the melting, if we heat a particular substance, let's take for example ice, then in such a scenario the molecules present in the ice, they becomes very loosely packed and it forms water. Means in the melting stage we change a solid into a liquid. The change of solid into the liquid state on heating is called melting. Now come to the freezing. Freezing means cooling of the water substance. Like for example, if we cool water, it becomes ice. Why? Because on cooling, the molecules of that water becomes very close to each other and they again take the shape of the rigid form of ice. So the change of liquid into solid state is called freezing. So melting and freezing are completely different from one another. Melting means the change of solid to liquid state on heating, and freezing means the change of liquid to solid state on cooling. Okay, freezing is a phase transition where the liquid turns into solid when its temperature is lower below its freezing point. So students, always keep in mind that on heating, movement of particles increases, and on cooling, the movement of particle decreases. Now let's come to the solubility. If we add some sugar in a water, then the sugar will dissolve and will form sugar solution. Substances that forms solution after dissolving in water are called soluble in water. And this is an example of solids in water. So I hope that you understood what are solids in water. The solids that directly gets dissolved in water. Now come to the liquids in water. Students, sometimes there are some liquids when they are mixed together, they dissolve in each other. As for example, the liquids like glycerin and alcohol dissolves in water. And this property of the liquids are called the miscible liquids. We can say this type of liquids as miscible liquids. Again, there are some liquids that do not get mixed with each other, and also they do not get dissolved in each other. This type of liquids are called immiscible liquids. For example, kerosene oil and vegetable oil do not dissolve in water. Okay, and we can take an example of a painter. Now when a painter paints, the paints get stuck in his hand, and paint is also a liquid, but that painter uses turpentine oil to remove that paint from his hand, and he do not use any water. Why? Because paints get dissolved in turpentine oil very easily and gets removed, whereas paint doesn't get dissolved in water. Okay, so I hope that you have understood liquids in water. Now come to the gases in water. A common example is the dissolving of the carbon dioxide in water, resulting in carbonated water. Now students, you have all seen the carbonated water. For example, when you open the bottle of cold drinks like Pepsi or Coca-Cola or any other cold drinks, you will see that the bubbles of the gas are coming out of the bottle. Or sometimes when you boil water, you will see the bubbles are forming in the beaker that you are in the beaker in which the water you are boiling. So these are the examples of the gases in water, where the gases remains dissolved in water under great pressure. Okay, now come to the expansion of matter. When we heat any substances, it increases. As I said you earlier, that on heating, the movement of particles or the molecules increases. So this increase of the molecules or increase in the size on heating is called the expansion of matter. On heating a substance, the movement of particles increases and the space between them also increases. This space helps a substance to expand. We can take an example like to open a tight metal lid of a jar, we dip it into hot water because hot water causes the lid to expand a little and it opens out very easily. This is what the expansion of matter is all about. Now the contraction of matter. Contraction happens when we cool a substance. So when you cool a substance, the size decreases. Why the size decreases? Because on cooling, the movement of particles decreases and the space between them also decreases. So it makes the substance to decrease. And this decrease in size of the matter is called contraction of matter. Okay, now come to the physical and chemical changes. So what are physical change? When the change occurs only in the shape, size and state of matter, it is called physical change. And physical changes are temporary and it can be reversed. Now take as for example, water on heating, it becomes steam. Water on cooling, it becomes ice. Similarly, steam or water vapor on cooling it becomes water, and ice on heating it becomes water. So we can easily see that there are changes from water to steam or water to ice and again ice to water and steam to water, but these changes are temporary. And these are the example of physical change. Physical change means the change which occurs only in the shape, size and state of matter, and these are temporary. This can be reversed whenever it is required. Now let's come to the chemical change. What is a chemical change? When the matter changes altogether to form a new substance, it is called the chemical change. And always remember that the chemical changes are permanent and it cannot be reversed. As for example, when we burn a piece of paper, it turns into ash. Now can we bring back that from the piece of paper from that ash? It's not possible because it has gone through the chemical change. Chemical change, that is why I told you that chemical change is permanent and it cannot be reversed. When we burn a piece of paper, it changes completely into a new substance called ash, and we cannot get back that paper. Let's take some other examples of chemical changes like making a chapati, then curdling of milk, etc. So these are the examples of chemical changes which cannot be reversed again. So students, this is all about your chapter solids, liquids and gases. Now let's learn some of the keywords. Molecules, very small particles of matter. Matter, anything that has mass and occupies space. Expansion, increase in the size of material on heating. Contraction, decrease in the size of material on cooling. Evaporation, change of liquid into gaseous state on heating. Melting, change of solid into liquid state on heating. Condensation, change of gas into liquid state on cooling. Freezing, change of liquid into solid state on cooling. So this is all about this chapter number 7, solids, liquids and gases. So I hope that you have understood this chapter. If you still have any doubts or queries, you can ask me. You can comment in the comment section below and I will reply to all your comments if you have any doubts and if you want to ask me anything. And students, if you like my explanation, please like this video and share this to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Revision Learning and press the bell icon so that you never miss any of our videos and updates. Thank you students, keep studying and we will meet very soon.